Welcome back to the Peppercorn Boys, where the group chat becomes a podcast. Hi, I'm Joe.
My name is Scott.
And I am Bruno.
And see, like, Bruno's the type of guy that makes himself look gorgeous on the thumbnails. It makes us look like gelatinous tapeworms that we are. And every week, these thumbnails, the YouTube over at the Peppercorn Boys at YouTube, check it out. The thumbnails are stunning.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're watching this, Bruno is like, last week he went hood up, like he was in Pierce the Veil.
Yeah.
He had done his hair, there could have been foundation involved. And he's leaning forward like, he's like giggling basically in the thumbnail. Like if you look at it long enough, it moves a little bit and he's laughing.
Yeah.
And then we're either side, or I'm like Jimmy Nail. I'm like Alvina St. Pat, is that right? Yeah. I know what's going on. What you got to say for yourself, Brent?
So that was one. I'm going to put the reason you two look so dreadful in those pictures is because you don't take good photos for me. You give me like rush ones right after the podcast ends.
I went bang him out in the toilet.
Yeah, we're in the toilet. It's got a white. It's got a white wall.
The funny story with the one that I did. I was feeling rough last week, and I didn't take one after the podcast. So I went back in my phone and I found one. That picture was taken on Joe's knees.
Is it really? Was it? What? Why? What's the context?
I don't remember this.
What's the context?
It was just a picture. I put it up now, the full picture, but it was just one that was in my. That I put on a story, I think. And it was in your little sun bit.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know, we're getting ready to go out one day. And I was down crouched on his knees. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, you look gorgeous. That's what I'd say. Like, that was the thing that caught me the most of it. It was the most stunning of them all. That's what I'm saying, is because week after week, we kind of do faces. Like, in all fairness, Bruno's got ones where he's holding his ear, like, making a weird face. Yeah, reality, we're all doing weird faces.
Yeah,
but this one particularly was like the website hot or not. We've made it go off again. What is that?
That's been such a.
I was literally doing.
That's been such a long time. I was watching it back last night, and it was like I think it was episode 1 or 2 that popped up.
It was 2.
Yeah. Mental.
Because literally, it's in a clip that I wanted to use. Because when we were talking about clipping this up for TikTok, because we're over at the Peppercorn Boys on TikTok. I was halfway through it and I was like, this is such a good clip. And then we start reacting for about 30 seconds to these fireworks that go off on the app we use. But it kind of ruined the clip. So what's happening?
What's it in celebration of? What's happening?
I don't know. Maybe I actually don't know. It does, yeah. We react to it because we pop every time it happens. The worst part was I was telling a story and I kind of shut my eyes and you two started reacting. I thought I was doing a good job. Then I saw the fireworks and I thought, just forget what I said. It doesn't matter. No. So back to the thumbnail thing is, they're kind of whatever. But last week particularly, it was like the website hot or not. That's how I felt.
Oh, no.
It was like, hot or not was the website in the 90s.
I felt a little bit...
what's that, Tinder now?
I felt a little bit hatfishy, you know?
It was just, I don't know, it just struck me particularly because we looked like we were in the back of a bathroom. So,
we were.
We were, but I mean, I looked particularly rough last week. I don't know why. I didn't like how I looked. I think I looked gorgeous in it. I'm half fishing, like I mentioned in episode 3.
I was throwing it back like I'm the bass player from like
Finch.
Blink-182.
Yeah.
Finch.
Yeah.
That's a shout.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a shout.
I
was going to, we're going to get to he's epileptic, I think you just said, which reminds me of a story, because obviously is, when I think we told this story.
Epileptic, by the way, is when you're really excited to go to Applebee's.
Wow.
Right. Isn't it? Exactly.
Epileptic, yeah. Or afterwards, you're
a bit smothered chicken or something. I don't know what you get at Applebee's. I can't think of
chicken
one
sandwich.
thing. I tell you what, as I've got older, I'm more nervous about eating an Applebee's than I would have been when I was 21.
Yeah, Applebee's is good.
I imagine the plates could be dirty sometimes.
Yeah, it's like low-budget pub food here.
Right. It is. That's what I can say. Like, you know, like Brewers Fayre.
Yeah.
I know I'm naming a lot of brands here. But that would be like proper pub food, but it feels like it's churned out.
Yeah.
TGI's is starting to get a bit like that. And I love TGI's. But I'm starting to think, if that glass is dirty, that's me down for a week.
Yes.
And that's starting to worry me a little bit.
Can't afford to lose a week now.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of Applebee's. Like, I don't know if we've actually been, but it's definitely not one that I would go to in a hurry, for sure. And TGI's now, especially over here, you have to pick your poison with TGI. Some of them are good, and some of them are rotten. But I know how much you love a TGI because as soon as we get to a foreign country, as soon as we get stateside, where's the TGIs? Where's the next TGIs? I'm like, let's experience some culture.
Well, TGI's the best. Hooters would be first.
Yeah, okay. But I agree. Yeah.
Hey, Hooters is the best. And again, you got to be careful with Hooters. I mean, because Atlanta on a Sunday is different to Phoenix on a Monday. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's a different brand altogether. Yeah. But talking of food, this is something I do want to talk about. Because there is a trip in the offing.
Yeah.
You're not going to be there this year.
I will not be there.
Bruno is pending. And if you're listening to this podcast, and I know this week we're going to advertise it a lot better than we usually have, get on the man's case, because there's 2 wrestlers in the WWE who are currently actively, because of solo chats with myself, are actively also trying to convince him to do something, which is go to Philadelphia this April, which is like a 4-night stay. Philly.
You showed me Philadelphia earlier. It looks incredible.
So we always go southern, don't we? We go to these states that are kind of more.
Hey.
I don't know what the word is. Hot is one.
Yeah.
But other than Louisiana, they're not quite as cultural downtown.
No,
it's more industrial.
Yeah.
Whereas this
business district.
Yeah, I was looking into it. Like, I mean, they do murals all around. There's a thing that you can look over the whole of the area. There's an abandoned prison that you can actually sleep in.
Wow.
It's like a hotel turned prison. But there's rooms, a part of your room, like the toilet will be like where they used to have like prison barber chairs, but it's your toilet.
Oh.
It's really creepy.
Too much PTSD,
but it's worth a thought. Yeah. When he was
from when he was locked up.
Yeah. And what were you locked up for, Bryn? Quickly?
For being so beautiful.
Oh,
so bad.
A bad joke would have been worse than that. I'm so glad that's in there. So I'm going to keep referencing that so I can't be deleted.
And as you say that, slide that picture in.
It's going in there.
Find your best picture and slide in there, please.
Cool. What do you reckon my best picture is?
Man, that was awful.
Terrible.
Your best picture? We've talked about the one in Dallas.
The Ray-Bans on the back of the boat or whatever it was. What was that one?
The one on his Instagram where you press start. Yeah. I think anything that involves a jet ski and a glass, I think he's set. I don't really have any good pictures, which is my biggest downside. There's a lot of them. But even when we won the World Championships, I look like a freak in the background. I look like Steve Carell playing a part.
Apart from, because you were so dehydrated in some of it, you did look, it looked worrying. However, I got some very good shots of you two at when you became champs that night.
You did, and I've been looking through a couple of them, and they're cool moments in time, but I don't know if it's just a personal thing. Like, Bruno knows he's gorgeous, whereas maybe I just don't realise that I'm average. You know?
Stop it.
Whoa,
Stop as well as me stuff, please.
What? That's a ban.
As we're recording this, that was 2 years ago today that we won those championships.
Exact date.
Today, yeah.
Wow.
That's mental.
How do you remember that? Is it like because you're second year at Many Tiers?
Yeah, tomorrow is my 2-year anniversary of starting at Many Tiers, where I started on the Monday, and on the Sunday, the day before,
you won the world titles and started the job.
We did. Yeah, so we won the titles. We did a 4 or 5 hour journey back home. I had 2 hours sleep and started my first day at work at the rescue.
God, can you imagine you got colour and you turned out like a nutter? That would be crazy.
Is this podcast now your career highlight? Just asking.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
Podcasting in general, because the bodies are breaking down and the voice is going up.
Yeah.
And get back to Philly.
Yeah.
One place that I'm very interested in going to, which is, I watched like a YouTube. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but when I'm about to go to a place, I do Google Street Views.
Yeah.
And I walk the town.
Yeah.
I put music on. I wear the clothes I'd wear in the town. I like to get acclimatized. I get in the map. Some would say.
You're like Benji looking for parkour spots from Stora.
That's a very good reference. I genuinely thought it was going to be the Joey reference getting in the map, but the Benji from Stora one is a very deep cut.
Mate.
No, I am. I love to look around. I like to get an idea of what you could do, when you could do it, how far certain things are. just to kind of get my head around
You can almost taste the Philly cheesesteak.
And I haven't done this in years because I haven't gone to a Mania for 6 years.
No, it's been a long time.
You're 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I usually, since then, we go see the boys from Pretty Deadly, and we go to Orlando. We go to a nice area of Orlando, and we have our area. Whereas I haven't gone to like a brand new place where I just don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And a northern state is very different.
But in the past, a lot of the Manias would be places we potentially visit even if Mania wasn't there.
Yeah.
Whereas Philadelphia, I wouldn't even think of going to Philadelphia.
Well, I can't stand the Eagles, and I'm going to there.
This is so lastminute.com, this trip, because Scott was so adamant for so many years that he wouldn't set foot if WrestleMania ever went to Philadelphia because of the Eagles connection.
Yeah.
And that's why we never go anywhere northern, because it's New York, it's the Giants.
It's cold.
And it's cold, and it's going to rain and whatever.
It's cold.
So that's why, I'm so, mate, and now he's flipped it around. He's been like, he's got a little bit more cultured, and he's fully invested in it. So and I appreciate it for sure. But hey,
well, that's the thing. Once you have friends in the WWE, and you have a place to stay in Orlando, you can also have a little second weekend in somewhere north where you enjoy yourself and some of the delicacies of that town, because it is a very cultural place. The where we're staying is yards from the Jason Kelce parade speech, the steps, and that is crazy to me. Because cool. I love Jason Kelce. I do not like the Eagles, but in a different world, I might have liked the Eagles.
I'm a big Jason Kelce.
Jason Kelce made me like the Eagles a little bit.
Yeah, I like the Kelces in general. I like everything about the Kelces. But there's this place. It's called the Reading Terminal Market.
Ooh.
So I'm sure if you've ever been to Philadelphia, you know about this. It's an indoor market. And it reminds me of, when you think of like Japan and China and stuff, they have these huge markets. Even in London, what's that one called?
Yeah. I was about to say, if you name all the stuff and then you don't name the one right on our doorstep and like proud English.
I've only been to the one in China. I'm sorry.
Borough Market.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, and it's.
I think we cut through the Borough Market on the way to the World of Sport premiere in London.
Yeah, and you had bad feet.
Oh, my shoes. Oh. Yeah. I did it barefoot.
Joe walked like 4 miles in London barefoot, basically, because he was in a lot of pain. But hey, sometimes you've got to do interviews in the top of a hotel with the brass of TNA wrestling.
Yeah.
But back to this Reading place. It's not like Reading, the Oracle. It is different. This is... I don't know how to describe it. I showed you a picture in the Peppercorn Boys group chat. So maybe this is what happened in the group chat this week is I put this in there. And there's a poll in there that Sam and Lewis and myself have come together outside of the group to bring into the group to try and convince the boy. Because he doesn't want to see the boys in their first ever WrestleMania. He doesn't respect them. But I mean, what I'm talking about is just going to get a hoagie, a chili cheesesteak, a Philly cheesesteak. They have, honestly, that is why I want.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Ever since years ago when Bob Backlund was eating one.
That's what I genuinely thought. And the Rocky Steps, things like this. I think the town of Philadelphia, I think, is really cool. I think the team and the moral behind the team of like blue collar, it's like the dogs or whatever they say, like they're like the underdogs. Yeah. I love all that.
Yeah.
In a different world where I wasn't a Cowboys fan, I think I'd very much have liked the Eagles.
Yeah.
And all of our favourite colours are like green. And,
I'm wearing Philly green. Are you wearing Philly green?
Green.
I think Bruno might have frozen, but I'm just waiting for him to start talking. Do you reckon he's going to come back? He's gone.
So, we're going to fill some time. I think we're recording.
Well.
Welcome back to the Peppercorn Boys.
Well, something's just happened.
Technically.
I'll say that. Something's just happened. We may have lost the big man, which is amazing.
Bruno's the kind of guy that bails.
Bruno's the kind of guy that will just bail midway through a podcast.
Bruno's the kind of guy that will have bad Wi-Fi.
Bruno is the type of guy that will have awful Wi-Fi. And that's exactly what's just happened. So he's been completely kicked out. What I like about this is when we usually join this studio, we're Scott and Joe, and he's the Peppercorn.
Like King Poobah.
We are now the Peppercorn.
Taking over.
And I love it. We're officially in. We're hosting. This is us. Left to our own devices. No Bruno. No parents.
The inmates are running the asylum.
And we're here. There's a chance that we have no audio because we're not very good at this. And that's why Bruno does the thumbnails. He edits. He does the TikTok. He does the socials. He does all of this.
We're just talent.
So we're just talent, brother. We get paid just as talent. We're like Shane McMahon. Do you know what I mean? Maybe we shouldn't be talking about it. But hey,
Well,
we could continue where we were at.
Dentist sticks at foot as well.
There's a dentist stick right here because the boy Luke, the dog that we've talked about in the past, my dog, he is getting a bit restless with us doing podcasts, and there's been about a 15-minute gap where we've been trying to figure something out. Bruno's going to need new Wi-Fi, and that's the part of it.
I like that the chaos has caused a little bit of like a slight different vibe.
We should call this the blackout episode.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We should call this the black. It's like the Friends episode. If we're not careful, a cat's going to jump on my back and an Italian's going to walk in. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
If you haven't seen Friends, that's really weird.
It's a really weird thing to say.
But yeah, I like a little bit of chaos that causes something.
Yes, but we will continue what we were talking about because I'll talk about our Reading market. It is hoagies. It is, I don't know what else, the sandwiches
lobster.
With the steak and the cheese and the lobster and the fresh produce. This is what I want. I'm going for the culture. And if you think Bruno should be going, comment underneath this video at the youtube.com/the Peppercorn Boys.
I need to vote in the group.
You do. And in the group chat, you need to be voting because I know Lou and Sam have had their say.
I'm going to do that live on air.
Do it. Get it in there.
There it is.
Get it. Go on.
Yes.
Yes, boy.
I've locked in.
Yes, boy. There you go, yes, boy. Side plate check and all that. We'll be doing that at Wrestlemania. But we need to get on at Bruno to do that. But yeah, culturally, I thought Philly's pretty cool.
Yeah, I never thought about it.
I'm going to actually pepper it.
Oh.
Because that is a segue.
Oh,
I'm going to pepper the town of Philadelphia with the peppercorn cheesesteak. It's a peppery steak with some cheese, some American cheese. But we're going to move into the segment we like to call Pepper or Cornet.
Every time you say cornet, I think of like a cornet of
ice cream.
Ice cream, yeah.
Like a cornet.
Yeah. Cornet.
The more I say it, I feel like it's not right.
Cornet.
Not the winger for Burnley Football Club that JJ Watt owns.
No, not that one.
Cornet.
But
no, we're going to do it. And no one knows what we brought to the table.
Well, Bruno is the type of guy.
Bruno is the type of guy that wouldn't have brought any. And he's told us that before we start recording. So the fact he's not here doesn't actually change anything other than we don't hear his opinion on said matters.
Exactly.
Do you want to get first for me?
I think he would have liked mine.
Okay, I'll let you start.
I think he would have had an opinion on it.
Right.
So, pepper or cornet?
Yeah.
Bands and artists these days releasing single after single after single as opposed to an album, a well-curated album.
So we're old.
Yeah, and I get that.
Yeah, I have an opinion on this.
Uh-huh.
And instantly I have a visceral, this is the issue.
Yeah.
I am the old school, not as old school as you, but I'm of, when I think of this, I think of the Black Album by Metallica.
Yes. I can smell the sleeve.
I like the idea of going and buying a CD. Not that this exists anymore, but you buy a CD and then you look through the sleeve while you're listening to it. And that's all you're doing is reading the lyrics, the artwork, all that effort that went into it.
Yeah.
Whereas
I think
now,
you can see online, actually, while you're saying that, is Lars Ulrich explaining this exact topic because of the issues he had with Napster.
And this is it. Like, I don't like it because I like when you look at your eyes. Like, my favorite bands are like A Day to Remember, Parkway Drive, Bring Me the Horizon, Sam Hunt, Luke Combs, that kind of era, that kind of, you can kind of get my vibe there. A bit of country now, State Champs, Wonder Years, talking to Philadelphia. I like it when I go to the album list. There's like 6 albums.
Yeah.
And underneath it says like 2011, 2013, 2015, 2019. And I can be like, okay, that album, I like that album.
Yeah.
As opposed to Bring Me the Horizon, one of the bands I just announced, who are the worst at this.
Yeah.
In the last 4 or 5 years, they brought out probably their biggest, most popular songs. But they've all been in individual cases. They're not attached to any album.
Yeah.
I hate this.
Yes.
Because I can't remember the name of the songs. I can't remember when they came out. I can't diversify. Yeah. So I'm going to slap a cornet.
Yeah, so call it on the random singles.
Don't like it.
Yeah, I have to agree. I kind of understand why they're doing it, though, because we're in a world now where people just stream music. Mm-hmm. So it's not a case... It's the same as Netflix, isn't it? Like, people don't really go to the cinema anymore. They kind of watch random films on TV.
Well, if you think about it, when you think of Netflix, we watch like Formula Ones.
Yeah.
It's essentially like 8 episodes. It's probably 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
You won't watch a 6.5 hour film.
No.
But we, in one evening, will watch 6.5 hours of episodic TV.
Yeah, so weird, isn't it?
Things are changing. WWE going to Raw, going to Netflix, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. But you know what? I came up with this idea driving here today. Mm-hmm. And do you know what album I was listening to that inspired this? I don't know if you'll get it.
I have one guess.
Okay.
It was Hootie and the Blowfish.
It wasn't.
Okay.
When you say Hootie and the Blowfish, I only think of Friends, the soundtrack.
There's a lot of Friends references there, which we need to relax on.
Yeah,
some people hate Friends.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to the record-breaking 1999 album from NSYNC, No Strings Attached, from beginning to end.
Which shows you how far it takes to drive here.
Yes.
And that album makes you think of what?
So that album takes me back to a specific holiday.
Same. Well, I was on that holiday.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah.
It was the year 2000.
In Portugal.
There was a cold jacuzzi.
Yeah. And our dad, weirdly, brought out a little snippet from a newspaper because the Backstreet Boys, another boy band from that time, brought out Millennium, which broke the album record sales just before.
Right.
NSYNC then overlapped them with No Strings Attached. But this is what the beauty of...
We're a Backstreet Boys house.
We're a Backstreet Boys house, 100%. But that NSYNC album is great. But that's why. But that's what made me think of why albums are better than songs, though, because that album took me back to a specific holiday.
Yeah, songs not enough.
Sometimes songs take you to places, but these random releases now, I don't know if they will. But a full album, well curated, like song after song, in order.
Right.
No shuffle. You have to listen to it in order because the way the artist intended it is you go on a journey.
Right.
Have a good band.
There's a reference here, so you're going to pepper or corn it?
I am going to corn releasing random singles.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
I'm all for the albums.
It's the fact that, so there's another thing that came to that holiday that you were just mentioning. No Strings Attached does make me think of that.
Yeah.
That holiday in Portugal we had as kids.
Yeah.
Wrestlemania was on that time.
It was.
And we watched that through what we assume now would be Bruno's current Wi-Fi. Because it was on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It was fully encrypted. And the funniest part about all of this is we watched the whole WrestleMania looking at what do people call it? Static.
Like static.
Black and white fuzz.
Yeah.
And we listened to WrestleMania.
It was just sound. It was a radio show, essentially. Yeah, weird.
So you watched the whole of that. We fell asleep before the end.
Yeah.
But our parents we were in a villa.
Yeah.
It was quite big and it was quite echoey. They woke up to essentially, oh my God, he's back. Is he in?
That's a run-in.
Hey, I had to because I knew I could just hear my ears burning. I was like, they're gonna be absolutely bad mouthing me. So this is me on a handheld.
This is me. This is me.
I'm going to be honest. We just spent 10 minutes going deep into the music industry. I think so.
We didn't go deep. We were just set. We'll offer this to you, but I just need to finish that story because it's a very good story.
Okay. We
watched in Portugal in 2000 in an echoey villa, WrestleMania behind an encrypted wall, so we could just hear it. We couldn't see it. We fell asleep.
Yeah.
But our parents? Yeah, we fell asleep. Another friend.
Friends reference again.
Our parents woke up to the echoing sounds of porn that came on the pay-per-view after WrestleMania that we had turned up because we were listening to it. We were, 7? Well, I was like 10. You were 16, 17.
Yeah.
And they appeared, we were asleep, to just full blast, just echoing through the villa of Portugal. So.
That shows how innocent we are as kids, though, because most kids will be trying to sneak some porn.
Oh!
We just accidentally stumbled upon porn whilst trying to enjoy
wrestling. We're just trying to see a fatal four-way between Triple H to Rob Big Show and Mick Foley.
We don't see big meaty men slapping meat, you know?
So the pepper and the cornet, Bruno. I haven't gone yet. We've already told the delightful, dirty peppercorns out there that you didn't have one. So we're not going to even go there. But this guy asked, what was the question?
So I felt like you would have enjoyed this one as well, because I thought about it on the way here. Pepper or cornet, artists and bands that release back-to-back just standalone singles like they do these days, as opposed to a well-curated album.
Oh... This is tough.
Feel free to surmise this because we've talked about this for a long time.
There we are.
Yeah. So if I was talking about my teenage self back in the day, I want albums. I want them to spend time. I want them to release a body of work. However, now I'm greedy. I want it on demand. So I'm peppering it because, to be fair. Like Bring Me Horizon are pretty much like one of the bands that do it a lot. So I love it when they just crank out music and they just give it to us, you know.
We both went cornet because we're old, but nowadays with like Essentials and Apple Music or Spotify and stuff, it's a lot easier because they're just putting all the best songs. But I do like the idea of when I hear In Love and Death album of The Used, I think of an exact time of my life and I feel a certain way.
You can see the cover. You can see everything.
When I hear Mantra by Bring It Horizon, I don't know. You tell me what year that came out. 2019, 2023. I don't know how I felt.
That's very true. I would be like that back in the day, but right now I quite like it, to be honest.
Yeah, Bruno would like it if a drone dropped off new music and it just went away afterwards. Like, he wants songs to be 30 seconds now. He just wants it quick.
Do you know what I think? Bruno's response to that, I think, is proof as to why what they do now is good.
Yeah, because Gen Z is like him.
Well, yeah, but also he was the guy that would lap up an album back in the day, like the artwork, the album, the merch, the tour that came with the album. But for him to now think more along the lines of the releases of the singles, I think that kind of proves that they're doing the right thing by it.
Yeah.
I'm just old.
I'm going to be honest, this comedy podcast went into like a hole of demise when Bruno's Wi-Fi just completely disappeared. And then it's come back with just a deep conversation about music. So you don't know what you're going to get from the Peppercorn Boys.
No, you don't.
My favourite part about the whole thing before I get to my Peppercorn, Bruno's got something in his beard and he doesn't realise.
Oh, no.
Yes! Oh, no. What was it? Rice, brother?
He had a quick munch.
He had a pack of Uncle Ben's.
No, it was a bit of sloth. I was. Do you know what? I did spot it. I did spot it, but I thought it was a grey hair.
I thought it was a grey hair, and I had to be really sure.
I thought it looked quite cool, actually. I can't wait to
It was a grey hair, he just yanked out. So my Peppercorn is fedora hats.
Okay.
So I've always had an issue. Ironically, I'm wearing a hat. I've always had an issue with hats. I don't now because I'm balding. So my issue before was you're really trying to draw attention to your head. Because you're putting something on your head. You're just sitting on top there like, look at my head. It's a display piece.
And the choice of hat determines what you're asking for, right? Doesn't it?
And I don't think I do well with hats because I have a very small face.
Yeah, that looks right. That's good.
I think I feel like I look like a better looking version of Dylan Dennis right now. I'm going to be honest. Which is a problem.
Don't put yourself down like that.
I said better looking than him. I could fight better than him. The other thing would be...
Probably got more class as well, to be fair.
Well, this is it. Fedoras, when they were on J-Lo or Britney Spears in 2001, I think they're totally unacceptable.
Back then?
I think it's even unacceptable back then. I think Bruno at a festival wearing a fedora, to me, is a silly goose time. And I think like the late, great Bray Wyatt. Fedora, hey, the best.
I
think a big man in a fedora, and I'll say this, Ollie Murs is fine in a fedora.
Yeah, he's fine rocking it.
If I turn up next week on this podcast in a fedora,
because it wouldn't go.
This guy can imagine a fedora with a little thin tie and a little open shirt, and it'd wind me up.
Yeah. He'd pull it off though, which is annoying.
That's what would annoy me the most.
I'll go full Chad Michael Murray circa like 2007.
So I'm going double corner. I'm calling my own one. Go on. What do you guys think?
Do you know what? I'm a sucker for nostalgia. So we were watching a little bit of Incubus on YouTube last week, and I think someone was wearing a fedora and a stringer tank or something. And you know what? I get what you're saying.
Shell necklace.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying though, but I'm a sucker for nostalgia now. So when I see that now, it just makes me happy. So you know what?
You're going to pepper?
I'm going to pepper the fedora. Not on everyone.
Yeah, on the big man, it's fine. I honestly think if I came in next week, you might punch me in the neck. I do. What's your thought?
I'd pepper it. I think a fedora in the right circumstances is spot on. I wish. The annoying thing with me is the fedoras sometimes that I get are a little bit too small. The big man's got a bit of a big head, so that's the only thing I'd change about it. But I love it, and like you said, it's my party time. You know, it's party time at a festival or it's abroad. You know.
Yeah. You know he's getting the screwdrivers in. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. And again, if he's abroad.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, definitely. J-Lo 2001. That's what I'm just saying.
Every time I say that, you pick up on that. Every time.
Yeah.
You need to upgrade to a nice wide brim hat or cowboy.
I think that's the way to go. You know, like Florida Georgia Line guys have the big overly like AJ.
Get this a bit longer as well.
That's the dream. And when you said I need to upgrade to what, and I was like, yeah, I do need to upgrade my Wi-Fi, Joe. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's hey, the Peppercorn boys are going to improve the Wi-Fi. We bizarrely, you wouldn't believe Bruno's in like vaguely near a town.
Yeah,
we are hours away from a town.
We are hours away from England.
I'm in civilization, and like,
we got the fastest internet known to man. I'd have no clue why. To this day, I don't understand it.
I think Wales were picking up New York's Wi-Fi at this point.
Honestly, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I think the pepper in the corner. I think next week we need to definitely all three bring something.
Hold on, I've got a bit of a one because you're actually going to help with the dilemma that I actually have. So I want to go see a film on Thursday called Argyle.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Boy John Cena, you know.
Yeah.
And now I go to this. I've got a new favourite cinema called Showcase in the UK. All right, they're a little bit plush. They've all leather seats, and sometimes the big man just upgrades to a gallery seat. It's called a gallery seat. You get a different entrance, so you don't have to come in with the peasants.
God, I don't even have to do Bruno's the type of guy this week.
And then you
comes through the heel entrance over there, isn't he?
And then you get like a box full of like good, like a sweet box or a savoury box, which they've now changed to a buffet style. So I'm completely out. However, that price of that ticket, £25. Pepper or corn.
Oh my goodness!
Would you pay £25?
I'm going to say yes.
Argyle.
I'm going to say pepper this. Simply because I think I see a film like once a year, if that. I'm willing to pay that for that experience.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And also I would pay for that experience because there's something nice about having. The only thing I don't like in cinema is not having room, like feeling on top of other people. So that's good. But I'm also not much of a snacker. I like a pick and mix. That's about it.
I have a coffee usually when I go to the cinema.
So with the gallery seats, you get glasses instead of like the normal thing. But I always go with the big 20-ounce drink from downstairs. And I'm not a big snacker in that guy. I'm more of a pick and mix guy. But yeah, it was just I go to the cinema at least like probably once a month. So that's gonna rack up pretty quickly.
Well, that's £300 a year. So just on a seat.
That's quick.
And he doesn't even use the food or the drink. That's crazy. He just wants the other entrance.
Hey, the seats are in twos.
Okay.
So if you go, I got balloons.
You got
Pennywise turned up.
Bruno, we'll have to. That's a clip. That's a clip right there. Bruno saying, "I got balloons."
Hey, Georgie.
Georgie. Well, this is it. If you haven't seen it, weird.
Yeah, very.
What you just did.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm gonna pepper it. What about you? And Bruno peppers it because he does it.
Wow. You know what? I love the cinema and I love seeing films. So if I'm picking like a film that I'm waiting to see, like badly, I'm gonna pepper it because I think you got to enjoy that.
Right.
All right, big man's forking out 25 quid for a cinema ticket.
Yeah, he won't. But I mean, he likes the idea of it, so that's what it's about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can all drink.
I tell you what, I'd go see Iron Claw with that money for sure.
Oh yeah. I'll go just my pants, no boots.
Yeah.
Don't get it the wrong way round. Just boots and pants.
The order in which that happened, I said, I'm going to do it in my pants and no boots. And Bruno went, yeah. And on that note, that has been another Peppercorn Boys. Bruno, we were going to do it where we were going to be sending it to you in Neverland, where Michael Jackson is also there, obviously, with his fun rides. But you were going to do the end bit. Do you want to do the end bit even though we're here?
Oh my God, you're putting me on the spot now. So you can catch us every week on the Peppercorn Boys, anywhere that you get your podcasts. And if you want the visual, head over to YouTube, man, because I put a lot of effort into the visuals. You get nice little visual cues from time to time to go along with some of the stories that we're waffling on about. But yeah, go give us a like on YouTube. Leave in the comments what you think of the episodes and the fact that I went AWOL for a lot of this. And yeah, give us a 5-star on the podcast ratings and catch us next week because we're doing this weekly, boys.
We are doing this weekly.
Here we are.
I've only got one thing to say. Have you got anything to say?
I think you're going to cover it.
Yeah,
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, tell me you're thinking.
Hey, hold on a second. I can't believe on your other podcast, Gunners R Us, if you really want to go,
heck of a plug.
If you really want to go support that, but on there you give some absolute phenomenal outros, Joe, and then on this you give us nothing. You let Scott take the lead. Like,
I come up with them on the fly, brother. I'm just working in there.
I'll say this: R1 is better because it's more from the heart.
Okay, all right.
You, Bruno.